Hello. Looks like weekdays are live days. So, let's have a look what's on the list now. Let's go fix those ground textures if we can. I realise that middle of the day on weekdays isn't going to be the best time to stream in terms of viewer count, but like that's when I'm working on stuff, so that's when I'm going to stream. Also, I do have a cat here with me at the moment, but she's sort of over on the bed. I'll see if I can set up a cat cam. Guten Tag. Let's see if this cable's long enough. No, the cat's just going to have to go undisturbed today. Thank you, hello. Good morning. Morning, air quotes. Now, this is where we left it yesterday. So, first thing on the list is fix ground textures. Because we done goofed. Right. Though actually I'm also just going to delete this fence spline because this is just not right for the location. I might replace it with one of these walls. In fact, tell you what, let's just do that now. Something like that. Yes, the one that's in the livery that Stagecoach should just be using, except for the logo. Oh. It's not the best development strategy. The thing is, I just get bored very quickly. My development style is basically ADHD. The other thing is that I basically keep a list of everything I want to do in my head, which also isn't the best way of doing things, but there you go. I much prefer that. That looks much better with a wall. But yeah, basically I just pick up on things that I think ought to be changed, and then I do them. And then I keep tweaking them until I like them. I think that's probably the best way to describe it. Also, why the fuck is there just a bush growing through a curb there? Yeah, I haven't, since I got rid of the original banked grass verge there, I haven't liked this, this road. So that is much better with the hedge sticking up behind it. Yeah, much prefer that. I don't know why these appear to have forgotten how to get the correct grass texture from the ground beneath them, but whatever. Yeah, this is also the reason I tend to work on quite small areas at a time. Because I sort of click back and forth and try to get everything something I like. Where's the wall I'm thinking of? Could have sworn it was over here somewhere. There it is. That's the one I want. Sticky notes are fine. People have used sticky notes for uni for decades. Ooh, that's a wibbly bit of brick there. Oh well. It can be as wibbly as it likes. So this whole bit here is built on 20 degrees off, if that makes sense. The problem with OMSI is it uses the Windows Bing sounds, isn't it? So I can't just turn down OMSI and have it not go belong. Can I? Yep, no, it's just using the Windows Bing sounds. It doesn't change anything. So what I should probably do is just turn down the system sounds. There we go. Turns out it was the system sounds. Why can't OMSI just, like, when you split stuff, why can't OMSI just, you know, not be weird? It'd be really great if OMSI could just not be weird. Hello. Ah, that should help.
He's a very happy bunny. He's got really nice.
He's probably going to want to play some games this evening then.
Yeah. So he's got the Wi-Fi connection now, which is
yep.
That's
good.
He's got, because I gave him that Wi-Fi adapter.
Yep.
He's now got 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi in the room as well. So all his devices are now working nicely, not just his.
Yep.
Not just his PC.
Yes. Yeah, that would make things better, wouldn't it?
Yeah. The wiring in the house seems to be okay with them so far.
Yeah.
Really fast connection. Anyway, that's good. And eating chocolate. We always need to eat chocolate after doing some IT stuff.
Nobody told me that.
It's important to recover. It's traumatic. New buildings.
That one's a new one, that one's new, that one's new, and that one's new. This one's from a while ago. Should I just do it like that? The weird thing is there is actually a tree just sitting in this corner here in real life, which is odd, but it's there. See? There's just
one tree.
No, there's quite a lot of trees. Okay, I could put an arrangement like that there. Yeah, this road's quite different in real life to what I made. So I'm going to have to work something out for myself to fit with the stuff that I have. But yeah, there's quite a lot of trees there. Like, they must be in like a planter bit or something. From the road, they just look like they're sitting there. The problem is people will complain that something I've made is unrealistic when actually I've copied real life. Like, why would you have this many trees in a car park for a for the back of a supermarket? Right, so I need a grass curb, I reckon. This one is perfect. You know, that's going to be the easiest way to do it, so I'm going to go with that. Right, and then we can just fill it with cars and vans and everything will be good. So the terrain at this point is 0.4. And you know what, I'm going to continue the trees all the way along so I can cover up the nasty texture on the side of this building. Might even try to fit a smaller tree in there somewhere so I can cover up the lower edge of it better. Yeah, this needs covering up somehow. That is not pretty. This building wasn't designed to be visible from the side particularly. I'm going to put a truck trailer there. How about that? That seems like a reasonable thing to have backed up over here. That's hideous. Look at that ground shape. That's awful. I need to do something about that. Well, that's better as far as there. Let's just make it stupidly wide. There we go. Much better. And this spline can just go from delta H to 1, 1. And it'll be fine. Yeah. Ooh. Let's just make this whole grade exactly 1%. Years of practice. So most of the techniques I use, I learned by disassembling other people's maps. Well, that ain't right. So I found maps that I liked, and I started taking them apart and seeing how they were put together. And then I just use very similar techniques, and I've also just developed a lot of my own techniques because I've spent years doing it. So the map that I took apart to start with was Tetau. That's the one that I really liked. So I figured the best way to learn how to make a map like that was just to take that map and take it apart. The other thing was watching development streams from other people. Yeah, Manly's a bit of a hard one to learn from because it's so differently made to most maps. Because the author made every building. Wait, no. There we go. Mostly. It's not all object roads. This is going to be a bit of a nuisance to get right. I might just go with editing the terrain instead of trying to conform the splines to the terrain. There we go. This is a terrain-built road. This is not the best way of making roads. Yeah, the downside to modelling everything individually is that OMSI has very little RAM available for it to use. Even if you apply the questionable 4GB patch, it still has very little RAM available. So it's making everything in the entire scene you're making isn't necessarily the best way to do things for OMSI. It's better to try and repeat the use of stuff where you can. I made a tutorial on making stuff for OMSI a while back. Making objects for OMSI. It was a while ago, and it's not the world's best tutorial. It's a bit wordy, and I didn't really have a plan to think it through, so it's about an hour and a half. It should really only be about, like, 15 minutes, but I did the entire process of modelling a building from start to finish. So if that's of any interest, you can have a look at that. It's on my YouTube channel. I don't know if my YouTube channel's linked anywhere from here. So, the thing I was actually going to work on today was I was going to fix the ground textures that are broken. I appreciate it. Oh, right, yeah, of course you're on YouTube, sorry. Hello again. Yeah, see, this bit's broken. It's only broken on some tiles, not all tiles. It's weird. But some bits of the terrain textures are broken. It's just not one of those weird OMSI things. So I think that when you delete a terrain layer, all tiles that aren't currently loaded, no, only tiles that are currently loaded that have that layer on them, actually update. That one. So ones that aren't loaded break, which is another of those just OMSI things. Hashtag just OMSI things. Hello. Ja, das Schularbeit. But yeah, this ought to be concrete here. I don't know why it's not concrete anymore. Well, no, I just explained why it's not concrete anymore. But it's meant to be concrete, and I'm going to put it back to concrete now. which is a bit of a nuisance because I actually lined some... I've just... Oh wait, fuck. Where have all the buildings gone? Why have I only just noticed that? Oh, fuck. There we go. How did it take me that long to realise? Okay. OMSI. Just... OMSI's great. Unfortunately, there isn't a single unified road package to use. Most people just improvise with what they can get. It's not perfect, but it's... Yeah. I made my own road package for Farthington, which is included in Farthington, but there aren't any junctions available that match it. Hello. Directly from the creator. It's a preview model that they sent me to use in the depot. And no, you're unlikely to get your hands on it. I've got it because I've made stuff for them in the past. Like... Well, not just that, we're also kind of friends, but... Yeah, don't go bugging him asking for it. It'll be released with Yorkshire. Yeah, this shouldn't be grass. That ought to be dirt. It's weird. Oh well, you just have to work around it. That's the thing with OMSI. A lot of the time, you're having to work around it instead of with it. Thank you. It should look a lot better once I've managed to get all the texture back in again. Yeah, he just ended up deleting all the textures altogether from Bus of the West Country and repainting them all from scratch. Yeah. Fortunately, it's only a few tiles that the problems have happened in, because most of the tiles were loaded at the time when I deleted them. So it's not actually that bad. I know. Look, what do you think I'm working on right now? Right, so this layer, I'm sure I could manually reassign these maps, but this layer, I believe, is the one which should not be where it is. So this one ought to be normal sand. And this one ought to be... Okay, new plan. There we go. Let's just go and check if there's anywhere else I need to do that to as well. Well, that area ought to be the field colour. Oh look, tiles aren't loading. That shouldn't break anything. Yeah, I should have been more concerned when I saw all the stuff vanish over here, shouldn't I? Oh. God knows. God only knows. But a bunch of my tiles have gone. Right, let's save it, reload it. Do all the normal things. I have a backup from yesterday. It means I'll have to go back through sorting out a bunch of stuff with assets again, but I do have backups. Basically, I'd finished doing all the stuff about... I'd finished doing all the stuff with objects, but I hadn't done any of the spline fixes yet. There we go, it's unbroken. What just happened is OMSI just happened. OMSI is a piece of garbage. Yeah, I will do after I've run this. I need money. How about no you? Yeah, somebody give me a couple of grand and I'll go off and just do UBS instead. Quite happily, and then I'll just make Farthington in UBS. Oh god. There we go, everything's fine again. OMSI's stopped having a hissy fit. The Huntingdon area. Okay, so here is the plan. There is... So when you're developing a product, you always keep in mind something called the MVP, the minimum viable product, not the most valuable player. That is the minimum amount of product you need to make in order for it to be reasonably sellable, valid, useful. The MVP for this map is 2 routes. The original route I always planned on making, which goes out this way, and the town route, which will circle around through Farthington itself and end up at an RAF base. The bonus on top of that is making an extension to the busway, so not running on the busway itself, but starting at the park and ride for the busway, and then going off to some kind of amalgamation between Huntingdon and Peterborough, and possibly also King's Lynn. But that is a stretch goal, not a part of the MVP. So hopefully that explains it. So I want to do it. Whether I will have time to, is another question. We'll see. It costs £100 to list it on Steam. And then Steam takes a cut of the sales from then onwards. Or alternatively, if you go through a publisher, they pay all the publishing fees and they take another cut. So for reference, a publisher that I've talked with before, Steam takes... Between Steam's cut and the publisher's cut, the developer ends up with 40% of the sale price of each unit. No, Steam doesn't do any of the copyright work, it's just a storefront. It's a publishing platform. Which bit is going to cost £800? So, for UBS... Alright. Yeah. So for UBS to publish it, I don't need to get the full Unity license, but it would be nice to not have the developed in Unity splash screen at the start. And that means it's $40 a month, I think. So it's just developed in Unity is a bit of a... people look at it and go, oh god, that's going to be terrible, isn't it? And I don't want people's first impression of my game to be, oh god. The reason why things made in Unity get a bad rap is because Unity forces you to put that at the start of every game if you don't pay the license fees. Like, they completely allow you to do it, but if you do use the free version, then you have to put the Made with Unity logo at the start of your game. And that means that all the crappy-ass games released Made with Unity have the Unity logo all over them, and that means that they all get associated with Unity. So there's actually a lot of games that are made with Unity that you don't know are made with Unity, that are much better than that, but because the developers paid for the licensing fees, they don't have Made with Unity branded all over them. So it's only the crap games that actually get the Unity branding. But yeah, I don't... Just for the sake of people not going, ha ha, Unity, terrible, bad game, I might need to pay the licensing fees just for that. But I could release it on the free version. Anyway, yeah. So, $40 a month for the Unity license, just so I can get rid of that splash screen. I need to live in the interim. Fortunately, I don't have any rent costs, but any other costs on top of that are my own to pay. Assets. There are a bunch of assets that I would very much like to get to use with the sim. As one of the great things about Unity is the asset store. There is so much stuff available to do pretty much anything you want to do. I've mostly been rolling my own stuff, partly just to learn, instead of just using what's already available. I don't want to just kick it by the wayside altogether. Because I don't want it to end up getting... I don't want to get to the point where I'm sort of forgotten where I am with it when I come back to it. But for the time being, I'm certainly focusing on this because this is the thing that's actually going to get me an income. Thing is that I could just go out and get a graduate job and get a reasonable income. I'm not just doing this stuff because I want an income. I'm doing it because I want to do it. Like, I'm currently very employable. I have a master's degree in electronic engineering. It's just while the world's in this weird state, I figured now was the time to get on and do my own project for a bit, and then come back to the normal world of work when everything's settled back down again. Could they at least have lined up the splat maps on the edges of terrain tiles? That would be nice. Like, look at this. Yeah. But that also, like, the actual thing I want to be working on, that I want to get Farthington done. I want to get it actually released. I want to prove to the people who say it'll never be done that I'm actually going to get it done. But but UBS is a bigger priority in terms of what I want to do. And I think now is the time, because people are currently getting fed up. Getting fed up with OMSI. Lotus isn't looking like the replacement people want. And the other sims aren't offering proper world editing tools. So I think now is the opportunity to get that gap in the market and jump in there. Which is why I've sort of started relatively urgently. Hopefully you'll start uni in more normal circumstances. Yeah, that's the thing. I'm hoping that this year's content, next year's content, will sort of hold off. I'm hoping this year's content and next year's content will hold off people's desire to move for a bit longer, so people don't initially adopt Lotus. Because if the content makers and people playing really adopt Lotus, then that harms my own chances with UBS quite strongly. So I'm hoping that the good content coming out shortly, oh god, yeah, don't even ask. I'm hoping that the good content that's coming out will sort of hold people off. Hold them off long enough for me to get something to a stage where I can start releasing like beta copies of it or alpha copies in order to gain enough people's interest, and then once they've seen what I'm offering, then they'll hold off until what I'm making is ready. That's my hope. This is also the reason that I've been trying to get as many content creators as I can on board early. Hello. Yes, it's also extremely expensive. I'm intending to charge £30 for the entire sim and just everything. Yeah. I mean, the other thing is I don't want UBS to just be a bus sim. I also want to be able to simulate other vehicles in it. That is for the streets and the base module. Yes. I know, right? It's just silly expensive. Yeah, but why would you bother with the planes module? Like, just go get Microsoft Flight Sim. It's gonna be better. It wasn't made by one person. I don't get it. They're just stretching the development abilities of one person too far. Like, yes, I'm a solo developer on my own project on UBS. But for one thing, I'm not intending to be a solo developer all the way. As soon as I start releasing a Kickstarter or whatever for it, I will be trying to hire other people, basically. Yeah. Even I'm trying to make one very simple thing, and they're trying to make 12 different simulators all at once in their own game engine they've written themselves. Like, I'm using somebody else's game engine for a very good reason. Somebody else has already worked out efficient ways to do lighting and, well, actually, that's basically the only thing I'm using. No, lighting and terrain. And physics. Yes. 3 very important things: lighting, terrain, and physics. Anyway, I was going to back this up. Well, exactly that. Like, why? I don't understand. Whatever. Train sim content is very overpriced. This is another thing, is my entire thing with my sim is community content. Yeah, Lotus certainly isn't about to replace OMSI. I've given myself a 2-year deadline to publish UBS. Yeah. Yeah, the whole point of UBS is it's focused at community-made content. That's the whole idea. Like OMSI is still alive because of all the community content. I'm hoping to pull the same trick. So everything is angled towards people who... what is UBS, you ask? So everything is angled towards people making and developing their own content and sharing it. That is the entire ethos of the whole simulator. Yeah. Somebody gave me an excuse to show UBS on the stream again. Development version, nothing you see is final. Sure. You sure you don't want to stick around just to see UBS? Just give me 2 seconds. This is UBS as it stands. So the first thing I'm working on is the map editor. Look, dynamic shadows, lighting that works, hideous street textures because I just threw on some ones from textures.com to have a look, and objects that you can move and rotate and place and stuff, and terrain that you can move. The ground texture is way too bright at the moment. And this is the latest thing that I got working, which is terrain textures with soft edges. So you can blend 2 terrain textures into each other smoothly instead of having them just overwrite each other. See? So you can gradually, softly build it up. So yeah. And this is the thing that I'm going to be working on next, which is loading assets at runtime, which is a very important part of it. As you can see, I've managed to load the mesh perfectly, but I have not managed to load the textures properly just yet. So I'll sort that out and everything will be great. And yeah, you can add tiles and stuff. The tiles are 1 kilometre by 1 kilometre instead of the 300 by 300 metres. And I'm aiming for a draw distance of 5 kilometres if I can for the terrain, and 1 kilometre for buildings. But, like, we'll see. Yeah. Objects look very nice in here. Let me just rotate this around the y-axis. Right. There will be you will be able to tweak things just as precisely as OMSI in the end. This UI, not final. All the tools, not final. Also notice 200 and something FPS. This is running at 1080 in this window. But there will be... St. Ives, you say? Yes. A fucking undo button. That's one of the most important features it's going to have. But there will be the option to manually enter coordinates, so you can place things just as precisely as you can in OMSI. Yeah. Anyway. That's UBS as it stands. Hope you like it. Let's get back to this. Yep, that's one of the intended features. I have a channel on my Discord for UBS requests and stuff. So I haven't updated the list for a little while, but I have been making a list. And I'm also occasionally releasing testing copies to people, so I can have a look and mess around with them. Yeah. Anyway. Sure. There is a link. Oh, sorry, yeah, you're on YouTube. Hang on. I'll just grab the link here. There you go. Yeah, that's what I'm working on. I think fixed ground textures is done. Hello. Okay, what are we going to do now? Shall we make the junction for the depot? That'll be interesting. Let's do that. It went viral on the internet. So, listen up, because I'm going to learn you some shit. This is how you make a junction out of splines in OMSI. Or how you make a modelled junction out of splines in OMSI. So what you do first, you go to the Spline Export tab, you select all the splines you're going to use. You hit Export. And then you find a place to export them to. Hang on, I'm gonna not do that. I'm gonna just stick it in the Farthington folder. So now we have an exported .x file model, which we can now import using the DirectX importer. This is not a standard part of Blender, unfortunately. But we get this, and it imports the wrong way up because of default import settings, so then we figure out which way up it is, and we re-import it. So up is going to be same. Hang on. Is it going to be X forward? Is it going to be X forward, Z up? There we go. I'm doing all right. There we go. That's correct now, isn't it? That looks mirrored. Yeah, that one's straight, that one's curved, isn't it? Yes, it's mirrored. So then what we do is we sort out the fact that import's backwards, and we just... Hang on, no, I can just flip which direction is forward, can't I? I swear it ought to be X forward. Let's try X forward. That's the one. Yeah, that's the one. So there we go. We have our mesh in here. So now all we're going to do is we're going to build our junction out of this. And we are going to do that by converting everything to quads first. Because that's going to make our life a lot easier, and you'll see why in a bit. So, in fact, you're going to see why right now, because I'm going to do an edge loop cut. Oh no, hello. Oh no, I know why that's happened, that's fine. In fact, I'm just going to remove doubles as well. There we go, that's what we're after. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this edge. Let me just work out where I want this to come in. I want it to go like there and like there. So I'm going to delete all these vertices like that. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab these and I'm going to spin them. And I'm going to spin them around the z-axis. And now I need to work out where the spin center ought to be. So, hang on. I'm going to undo that, and this time I'm going to put the 3D cursor in the right place to start with. There we go. Okay. And then we're going to just manually tweak it a little bit and get it to line up as best we can. So this is going to be a bit interesting because these aren't actually going to perfectly line up. But it's going to be fine. You know what, I might just make the lanes carry on forward and just meet here. And then I'll just put some loop cuts in here and I'll just stick it in like that. Oh, I'm not correcting UVs. Oh, I'm going to have to sort that out afterwards. Oh well, we're not quite going to do it like that. Then we're going to do it actually a slightly simpler way. So this is going to be a bit imperfect, but whatever, it'll be fine. Right, now we're going to do very much the same thing as that on the other side. No, 3D cursor there, spin, this time positive 90. Pretty good. And I made that cut in the middle there for that to line up with. And you know what, I'm just gonna... Hang on, actually I want to get rid of the edge lines at this point. So let's just deal with that. This should make it make a little more sense. There we go. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to grab the textures that we need. So there's a couple that we're going to need. I'll bring this over here so you can see. You don't want to know. I'm just making a junction right this second. It's fine. By pressing F. Nope. Fills in an area. Da, 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 da. So now we're going to start adding textures. Oh no, it's white.dds that I want. There we go. That's what we wanted. Ah, you're on the wrong streaming service for that. I will have to do a bit of UV tweaking here. Actually, I should be able to do it like this. Yeah, hang on, no. Follow active quads. There we go. Unwrap, follow active quads. And that is how you do that. Unwrap, follow active quads. Unwrap, follow active quads. And then we are going to do the same to all of these. Unwrap, follow active quads. Unwrap, follow active quads. It's great. It's perfect for doing things like roads. Right, I'm just going to replace this lamp with a sun. There we go, now we can see what we're doing better. Hello. Oh, sorry, main is supposed to be worn. Oh well, we'll add a new one. Everything's fine? That makes me feel like everything might not be fine. See, what I actually want is a blend between the two textures. That'd be annoying to do. But I should probably do it. Searching for stuff off screen. Engaging content. I have a genius plan. Watch this. Eh? You'll never guess. I need a bigger brush. Zoom. There we go. Ah, yes, treat your customers with the utmost respect. There we go. Except I'm going to do it further back. There we go. The header image or the junction? Yeah, I was thinking. Right, and now, unfortunately, I'm also going to require another bit of texture from the... Let me pull this over here so you can see it. I'm going to require another bit of texture from the Farthington Demo Roads Type C. I'm going to need this version of the Verge, as well as that version, because I need to merge the two together. And it's going to be annoying. So this is going to be an unnecessarily inefficiently modelled thing. So this one wants to be verge.dds, which is the newer version, but unfortunately I'm blending it in with an earlier road, which uses the earlier texture, which works in a very differently mapped way. So now I need to make these bits in order to make them blend in with that bit. I need these to be verge 2. Oh fuck, of course not. Okay, so what I actually need to do is remap these bits to use this texture. Right, time to commit atrocities. Only very small ones, don't worry. I couldn't because that one had a division here, so I couldn't do that. Let's see if I can follow active quads from here. That works. I mean, nobody's going to notice that very, very tiny little stretched bit there, but whatever, I'm going to notice it, so I'm going to fix it. And that's our junction model. Hope you like it. Right. Now we need to export it, and we need to press the export button instead of the cancel button. And then we need to import it, and then we need to make the thing, the stuff. You know, the thing with the stuff. We need to do the AI paths, which are going to be a bit of a ball ache, but we're going to do our best. I might as well just rename this Farthington Junctions, mightn't I? Phuket. This is just going to have to be a bit of a mess. I'm going to save the doing things nicely for UBS. For Farthington, I need done. Wait, you still use Virtual Hub? I feel betrayed. Why do you betray me? Oh, come on, at least load into the OMSI directory by default. There we go. So that's what it's going to look like in game at the moment because I'd forgotten to assign the thingies. Oh, come on, post in my server. Oh, right, you're posting in their server, not on their forums. Ah. See, I was a bit surprised about the forums. Because they're, like, dead. Flicker, 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 flicker. Because this has even less precision to work with than normal OMSI does. Right, okay. So now what we need to do, this is going to be another ball ache. So this is probably referenced from here, isn't it? I reckon that's that's the center point. So I now somehow need to align the next pieces to it so that I can use it. Oh boy. Okay, so it doesn't have an XYZ coordinate because it's parented to this. As of course it is. Can I parent it to itself? Yes, I can. Okay, now I have XYZ coordinates. Let's do the same trick again. Okay, so I need the coordinates in terms of their offset from here. I only have 3 decimal places of precision, but the OMSI junction editor can only do 3 decimal places of precision, so it's fine. So everything needs to be referenced to 2.118, 238.756, 274.667. Okay, so that's what everything needs to be referenced to. So this one, so the side is 4.576, 219.940, 6.018. Hang on, that'll be the heading, won't it? Height is 6.000. So this one, yes, there were. I think a couple of them came to the UK years and years ago. Is that across the other side of tile crossing? It is, yes. Okay, so tile is 300 meters, isn't it? Okay. So this one again. Oh, and I'm going to have to do the heading as well, aren't I? So the heading of this is 274.667. The heading of this is 184.553. The heading of this is, well, it's going to be this minus 180. It's going to be that. That's the other way of working it out. It's going to be 451. Because OMSI doesn't believe in circling those around. And the roundabout end is going to be 274.667, so that's straight. Yep. Yes. Yes, it does. You've got to think that there must be an easier way of doing this. I mean, for one thing, I could have put it into a spreadsheet and had that do all the calculations for me. But, well, I mean, there's definitely a way to code a solution to this problem, because with very few exceptions, there's always a way to code a solution to a problem. I'm also going to make small typos, I'm sure of it. I'm going to do that one myself. Putting that engineering degree to work. So, the alternative to doing all of this would have been to, at the time of making the spline export, put a dummy spline at 000 on this tile, and then reference everything according to it. That's the way I've done it before. Right, so now we add spline templates. Wouldn't it be great if it would just default to the splines folder? So this is VAO something something something. Also, I'm going to have to adjust the marking type on here. So I might actually just remove the markings from the middle of the model, because they're not going to line up, and it's going to lose me flexibility about what type of markings I'm using, so I'm just going to get rid of them. This is the OCD development method going back into its own again. Just, oh, I should do that. Oh, I should do that. Anyway, that won't change this. And I don't need to care about which one of these I actually use. So really all I need is a VO1V. There it is. Where is it? There it is. Well, the rotation isn't right, but the rest... no, none of it's right. It's all wrong. That probably means that the X and Y coordinates of this model are flipped. Hang on. So curve on that end. Yeah, curve on that end. Fuck it, we're lining it up manually. Let me just check that I copied those in right. So where does 000 come out on this? It comes out where I would expect it to, okay. Okay, so everything's 90 degrees off. That's fine, we can accommodate for that. Also, I've changed this texture very slightly, apparently. No, I've changed it significantly. It's a different texture. Okay. So that looks right. Yeah, getting the coordinates of the end vertex is not a bad shout. And then I can get the heading from the calculations I did previously. So 0.61 yada yada yada. Yeah, good shout. So that plus 90 or minus 90. Plus 90. Minus 93 point... It's the other way. 86.83. There we go. Well, again, that's one of those things where it'd be worth making it, or just make a new simulator. I've decided I'm going with the latter. I'll just use the vertex coordinate again. Yeah. But... Oh yeah, everything's exported in funny directions. But by the time you sum up all the work that's needed... What's going on here? Oh, have I still got the other one? No? Oh, so that's going to be the x-coordinate. I don't even know. Everything's all in the wrong direction. I've got my coordinate system fucked, but I'm just going to roll with it. That was the opposite of what I wanted to do. Is that the correct direction? There we go. Right. Now that we've done that, we can make the paths. Except we can't quite do it that easily because we need to make them in such a way that we can actually join them together. There we go, that'll do it. Okay. Now we're going to do the normal thing of just moving this off by a meter. Completing that to there and then moving it back by a meter. I mean, I don't need the left turning, but if I ever do need the left turning, it would be annoying not to have it. Yeah, see, that's what happens when there's already a path there. And it's just annoying. So what you do instead of that is you just offset stuff, then complete it, and then put the thing back again. Oh. It just makes life easier. Yeah, OMSI's great. Oh no. I did it again. Like, they pathed the whole of Berlin like this. Right, there we go. Omzi's so good. Right, let's have a look at this. Yeah, that seems about right. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to do all this. Metal verge.dds 0 metal alpha metal alpha mode 1 metal white.dds metal alpha 1. Right, I don't believe that I need to do anything else special with that. Let's see if I've got it all right first time. Place your bets. Well, the model isn't there. So that's very cool. That probably means there's a problem in the model file. The likelihood of me getting it exactly right first time, having not made a junction in years. It's still doing this. There's an error in line 20. Line 20 is this one. So let's have a look. Oh yeah. No, hang on, the mesh tag's down here. It's fine. Oh, the mesh tag needs to come before the material tags. That's what the problem was. There it is. There's our boy. And I need to switch this road texture. Anyway. There we go. A junction. Very nice. Very nice. You see hole at the end. So you do. Bastard. And the spline paths don't join up either. Yeah. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. There we go. Oh yeah, 3 decimal places. That's what we like. So VAOC1A is what I need all the way along here, really. Okay, this entire section should be VAOC1A. Be warning stripes everywhere. It's fine. Happy with that. Obviously I need to change the textures on the road to match, but whatever. Let's go do that now. And of course the verge is a Targa. What else would it be? Here's the top secret super sneaky plan. There we go. Now if we load it again, and yes, it is faster to exit and reload rather than just changing the map, because when you change the map it takes you to an entry point, and I want to reload in the same place I started at. So it is slightly faster not to click across the map to get there. Yeah. There we go, now everything matches. Yep. Yeah, you hold shift to reset the priorities. Yes, you can click and hold and drag across multiple bits. So like that. And then you can hold shift and drag across to do that. Also, I need to do the same thing here because 3 decimal places of precision. 3 dp of precision should be enough for anybody. Computers will never need more than 3 decimal places. Oh, there we go. We've got our depot entry. And now let's just make some road markings line up with it to match. Ooh, that's a bit of a jarring transition. Gender, this is the control end. This end, okay. Where have you gone? The height here is 2 meters, okay. 2.1. .05. Again, in UBS, this will be done using projection and decals. So you will always get your marking exactly on the road surface. You won't have to nudge it up and down to make it sit. Yeah, exactly. Right, what's the correct marking for the other half of a giveaway line? I can't remember. Edgeline junk norm. Yeah, but who reads the manual? Nerds. Ha. Got 'em. The prosecution rests. Not really sure what to do with this bit here. I mean, I could just carry on the solid line. Like that. Okay, that's fine. Right, and now I need to fill in the bit in the middle. That worked out pretty well. Yeah, excellent. Cool, that is our thing. As per usual, if the verge doesn't look nice enough, add some buddleias to it. Maybe, in extreme circumstances, try some ragwort. Is this the field texture? No. Already done over there. Is it this one? Yeah. But these areas are just sort of scrub land in real life. So that's what they're going to be here too. This is where being able to blend textures together would be really nice. Which, as I demonstrated, is a thing that you can do in UBS. But yeah, it's not just in UBS, terrain painting isn't just on or off. You can blend together multiple layers. I'm not sure if I feel like doing it or not, but in real life this bit here has a mini wind turbine in it and a little industrial thing. I used to like that bush a lot more than I do now. The colour just doesn't really fit in. So I might just quickly stick an object over here to fill in the space for the time being. Make it look a little less blank. Yeah, here are the farming fields. Right, so generic office buildings. See if we can fit one of them in. I ought to replace it with a custom building, but for now I'm going to put an office building in, and if I never feel the need to change it, then I'm not going to change it. Okay, I'm going to do this with a spline. This bit isn't intended to be driven up to. Well, that'll do. Hello. Again, this bit's not going to be driven up to. You will not be seeing this bit at close range, so I don't mind this bit being a bit sketchy. I just want a view block. You've got to remember when making maps that it's like making a stage set. You have to dress it for the distance people are going to view it from. There's no point in making every single detail of every single area, because all that will do is it'll slow performance down. Let's make it less tall. So from this viewing distance, that's going to be absolutely fine. Because the closest you're ever going to see this from is here. And at that point you're not going to be focusing on going down there, you're going to be focusing on turning left into here. So yeah, I'm not too worried about that. And then you'll also see it from over here. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Well, if you have to fit a more powerful engine, you're going to have to make a bigger engine bay, and if you're going to have to make a bigger engine bay, then you're going to have to make a bigger bus. There doesn't seem to be any point making a big version of a small bus. Though, I mean, tell that to all the operators who bought the Streetlight Max. Well, that was a heavyweight bus to start with. Yeah, I noticed that when I get near the bus depot with these statics in, my performance tanks. Like, it's worse near the bus depot now than it is near the city centre. Though, of course, the other reason that might be is because of all the shit going on in the log file right now, so I'll have a look at that and make sure. I'll see if I've resolved that. Let me just generate the light map. I do, yes. So I might need to limit the number of them, or alternatively use a lower poly static vehicle, or an LOD mesh would be good. Yeah, I've done that before. Yeah, so with 10 of them, you've got a full bus. Yeah. Now the reason my AI works well is because it has really aggressive LODs, like seriously aggressive LODs. I am tired today. I might need to take a short break in a bit. Yeah. Well, another thing is the number of materials, because every separate material is it is another draw call. Right, I need to drive over the bits that I've made and make sure that they're smooth. So yeah, the centre of... So the city route is going to come in this way. It's not a city route. The town route is going to come in this way. This end is very much a sketch. It's not done in any sense. I have the door lock on, don't I? Time to not be able to hear the vehicle at all. Yeah, this is the town route going this way. Which is obviously extremely incomplete. Just like most of the rest of the map. Over here I just took I haven't fully calibrated the brake pedal. Yeah, there we go. Load cell brake, very firm. Ooh, I need to fix that. Anyway, yeah, this is the end of the town route. I'm going to come around here and terminate here instead of in the bus station. Yeah, so these buildings are correctly placed. All the other buildings are just ones I threw in order to get a sense of how it's going to feel when it's hemmed in with buildings all around. This is the mostly destroyed bus station. And all I'm going to do now... I need to make that pavement texture much, much finer, don't I? Because those bricks are completely the wrong size. I just want to see how this new bit that I've made on the left looks, which is absolutely fine. Yep, that's fine. Yeah, so over here we are doing 37 FPS right now with one AI bus loaded. In the middle of town with all the AI traffic. Let's head back over to the bus depot. So over here we're doing 200 FPS. Inside the bus, 75 FPS. $60. Yeah. No, the texture memory usage is great. Then wait for the statics to load, wait for the statics to load. There they are, 20 FPS, 29. 100 more megabytes of texture memory in use. So FPS has halved getting in range of the static buses. Oh, I need to fix that junction, don't I? Oh well. Interesting. It's got the editor only tag. Yeah. LOD meshes, they're great. I only just realised that, of course, there it is, only editor. No, you're gonna have to make them. You're gonna have to make them from scratch. I mean, the way I did it, I've shown enough times the way I did it. I just screenshotted the model from all the sides and used that as a texture for a very simple LOD model. And then I swap it out quite aggressively. Then I have a texture layer underneath which matches the texture mapping of the original. If you're lucky, you might be able to use the actual external main texture map. There we go. Oh, okay, so we don't have collisions. It has the no collision tag as well, doesn't it? I mean, there's efficient and then there's just low quality. But yeah, it didn't need LODs. See, that's a great thing the C400 still has going for it, is it's incredibly lightweight. In spite of some of the textures being ridiculous. Chug, 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 chug. Oh, I like the way this new depot exit looks. This bit needs some work, but up to this point, I like how it looks. Yeah. Anyway, it's time for me to take a break. I will be back later, probably. Also, I need to take a look at that and what's causing that. But yeah, anyway, I'll be back in a bit. It's time for me to take a break.